Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the discussion about Bronny James entering the draft. Um, had to cover it. I know it's a couple days ago that he declared, but I was live discussing the possibility of him transferring to TCU uh, because he put his name in the portal. But uh, ultimately, I feel like it was a good decision for him. Um, I just feel like they made a decision. Yeah, I just feel like they made a decision to play it safe. Um, because look at the slander, look at the criticism, look at the scrutiny he got just off his first season at USC. And when you watch the tournament and you see how difficult college basketball is at this level, it's really the same thing as the NBA now. I mean, these guys are getting paid. The defense is a lot harder because they're playing zone defense still. It's I hate to say it, but the NBA right now is actually probably a little easier than college. And with a name that big, I think one more year of Bronny not doing well for whatever that reason is, especially after he transferred, I think will just do more damage than good to the brand. Even though he's premature now, I think they just made a decision as a household and as a family to go ahead and enter into the draft while there's still the questions. Like they can blame the year on the cardiac arrest. They can blame bad year on it was his freshman year and he was still getting adjusted. They could blame it on the health issues. They could blame it on him just getting acclimated to the next level. They can blame it on it not being the right fit. They can blame it on, USC maybe not being that good of a team. Um, but if he was to transfer and do bad, you know, or even just as good as he did this year at another school, I think that would have done more damage to the James name than good. I think they just decided to play it safe, enter into the draft, take the little criticism that it gets, but also the excitement that it gets, that it provides. Everybody was already talking about it anyway because he was saying that he would join the team that his son went to or whatever. Everybody was still talking about that. I think that, in my opinion, I said it before. I'm surprised they didn't just put his name in the draft from the get-go. Um, I think they really could have. Bronny could have put his name in the draft after the All-American selection because he had a good All-American game. I think he had 4 or 5 three-pointers in an All-American game, and I think that probably would have been the best chance for time for him to put his name in the draft. But I think again they made that decision for him to go to college because LeBron didn't go to college, so he was like, "Hey, one of us let one of us do it," and that's the decision they made, and it didn't go that well. And I think that once they saw the amount of attention and the lack of support that he got from the community from his lackluster performance or whatever the case may have been, I think that played a big part in their decisions ultimately to just put his name in the draft because of the amount of teams that were saying they would draft him just for the possibility of Bron deciding to join that organization as a free agent. And I think that at this point, whatever reason can get drafted, you got to take it. You can't roll the dice anymore. You can't take the chances anymore on damaging that brand. It's too big. The name is too big right now to damage it. I think they know they got Bryce coming up if he wants to. He can try the college thing from scratch again. He can prepare for the college game a little bit more, learning from what his brother learned. Like I said, no one in that household had done that before, so they didn't know what to really expect at the college level. Um, LeBron couldn't really advise Bronny on how to deal with that college competition and moving up and down on that depth chart. That's something that I've done. And it's a very rare experience when you play in Division I college basketball, just understanding the competitiveness and how it works as far as the playing time and getting minutes. It's a very it's a complicated thing to do, but once you do it, you're prepared for the next level. So speaking of, I'll just go ahead and say I think it's a great move. I know it's getting a lot of criticism and a lot of laughter. People are making a lot of fun of this. Memes going up saying that, he's going to be like Thanasis, Antetokounmpo, all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, okay, all fun and games, but the reality is that, again, the NBA is not as competitive as it once was. Defense is not as tough at the NBA level as it is at the Division I level, and that's because the zone defense is not allowed in the NBA. They don't full court press in the NBA. It's a longer game. Guys are older, so they already got paid, so they're not playing as hard as what they do and as hungry as they do in college. So I think that when you consider all those things, like I said, his dad is well versed in the NBA, so he's going to have the best NBA preparation that anybody could ever have. Like I said, LeBron didn't go to college, so he didn't really know how to prepare him that way for that. Bryce will now be prepared through what Bronny learned. And I think, like I said, they couldn't take the risk. They just couldn't take the risk in another year. And see, because here's the reality. If he would have struggled this upcoming year, wherever he went, there was a good chance he would have, because, you see what kind of competition was in college basketball this year during the tournament. Now you face some real scrutiny, and plus, like I say, LeBron is probably wanting to go ahead and retire soon, putting himself in a position to retire. So that would have made LeBron have to play an extra year, just if he was still trying to wait for Bronny to get there. So it just made all the sense in the world. I just think they might have already knew he was going to enter the draft. I think they just did it just to shake things up, the transfer portal, just to kind of shake things up, which I kind of anticipated, because if you remember, LeBron kind of did the same thing, where when he was leaving Cleveland, he made it, he stirred up the media a bit. I think maybe they like that a little bit. They're entertainers a little bit. They're in Hollywood, they're in California, they're in LA. They like the attention. So I think they just did that to kind of throw some things off. Yeah, Hayden, hey, yeah, the new number, yeah, definitely reach out to that, man, so we can get you on your program. We need to get you started with your workouts, with your strategies, with where you're at in your career. We need to discuss that so we can get you on the program, man. You've been following along, and I've been following you as well. So we need to definitely connect on that. And I'd love to start guiding you on your career path. Where you're at. I like where you're at right now. Got a great form on that jump shot. We want to figure out some things, some tips and tricks to get that release going, with contested jump shots and whatnot. I want to look at some more videos and start breaking some of that stuff down, give you some exposure also from this channel. Follow your direction. But yeah, like I said, guys, I wanted to definitely discuss that, because it's there's a lot that we can learn from Bronny's struggles his first year. It's a very challenging thing. I applaud the fact that they didn't back down. They could have, like I said, they could have just jumped straight in the NBA, and just totally avoided that challenge. I'm glad that he took the bull by the horn and even went there to learn, because he didn't have to. He could have got drafted just off his name, after the All American performance. He did good in the All American game, right? And I think after those couple highlight plays he got toward the end of the season, they just figured, hey man, you know what? Let's go ahead and roll the dice. Who cares? Somebody's gonna take him for the chance to get LeBron James, and who cares? It's worth the risk. I think he's gonna do well at the NBA level because of his athleticism. You know, he can jump. He can play D. He's not the smallest guy in the world. You know, so he's gonna be his size and his strength puts him at a place where he can play, you know, defense against the ones and twos, such as the Jordan Pools. He can run after those guys, try to become a stopper, maybe a defender, maybe they can make him some kind of, you know, Dylan Brooks, Draymond Green type of a defender. There's a place for that in the NBA because guys don't really play that much, play that much defense in the NBA. So it's not. I think he's going to surprise more people than what you guys expect. Uh, is he gonna win Rookie of the Year? Hell no. Um, but is he gonna actually, hold his own, help a team as a rookie? Yes, and I think that with his work ethic, uh, you know, his coachability because he's very coachable. His unselfishness. I think he's gonna become a fan favorite, and also not only with the fan base but with the coaching staff. I think they're gonna love the attention it brings to the organization that drafts him. I think it's gonna help them a lot. So he might even go earlier than what we think. Will he go first round? Maybe. And that's the whole thing. It's like you've never seen a player average 5 points a game go first round. We might see that for the first time this year, guys. And that's because, again, to roll the dice to possibly get LeBron James the way he's performed this year with LA, he's getting better and better somehow at his age. And I think teams really are willing right now to roll that dice, grab Bronny, just to see. You know what I mean? If that lures LeBron into going, LeBron played that to his favor because teams have put it out there that some teams are saying that they might do that. LeBron being real quiet about it says, "Oh really, son? You see that?" Even if LeBron doesn't leave, the fact that his son can get drafted for that's a great thing. I think Bronny wants to go ahead and feel that NBA jersey and feel what the silk of that NBA jersey actually feels like. He's been watching his dad for quite a long time, and he's ready to see what that NBA satin feels like on his chest. You know what I mean? See what it feels like to see those NBA women. You know what I mean? I think he's ready for that. He's seen his dad, do those things for a very long time. He's a grown man. I think he's ready to feel and experience and have that on his name that he's an NBA player, first round. Because listen, if he was to just, let's just say he did average 10 and 15 a game this year, right? And he got drafted accurately, specifically for his performance. Let's just say, better yet, he did it next year. Let's say next year he averaged 10, 15. LeBron doesn't even have a good year because he starts to slow down. Maybe an injury or something happens, who knows? Or he retires, or whatever the case, which he's not going to do. Anyway, this is hypothetical. I'm just saying, let's just make it seem like LeBron, or Bronny for that matter, goes to college next year, averages about 10, 15 a game, gets drafted late second round. They put him in the summer league like they did Wemby, and now he does okay. He does okay. Now he's a two-way player. They put him on a two-way contract with the G League team. Do you really think he wants to humble himself as the son of LeBron James on a G League team? Ask yourself that question. I don't think that Bronny wants to have another year like USC where he's little brother, basically. He wants to be brother. He wants to be at least like Lonzo Ball, Jello, or Lonzo and LaMelo, better yet, not Jello, but LaMelo and Lonzo. Like, he wants to be like that with his dad, at least one season since his dad is still playing well. He wants to be brother, the first brother-dad relationship in the NBA. It's never happened before. I think you guys are gonna love that when that happens. I think it's good for our game, the history. It can motivate other generations to maybe do the same thing with their kids. I think it's a great thing for the game of basketball. He needed to do this now. When LeBron, he's just benefiting off of how well LeBron played this year. Let's just keep it what it is. LeBron had an amazing season. He did not decline in any capacity, and now there's teams that are more excited about the possibility of LeBron going to help their organization. Bronny would not have had this on his stock next year. So that's LeBron's first benefit of congratulate LeBron. Tip our hat to LeBron for averaging 26 a game at the year you did it. Now they're basically a draft package. Just call it what it is. I know that a lot of people don't like LeBron. They want to do this challenge and say he's not the GOAT because Jordan is, or whatever the case may be. But the reality is that on the scouting board, teams are drafting right now for the possibility of getting LeBron James to join their organization as a free agent. And who wouldn't take that chance? I mean, if you're an organization who's not winning, you're not one of those 3 or 4 powerhouse name teams in the NBA right now. You gotta roll those types of dices. You gotta take those types of risks, and you don't lose. I mean, if you worst case scenario, you get more ticket sales for the organization because you drafted Bronny and LeBron doesn't join. That's the risk you run. I think it's a good dice roll. It's a good chance to take. So yeah, it makes sense to me. They should have never. I don't think the portal thing was a reality anyway. I think it was just kind of a move to do prior to entering his name to the draft, because if he would have entered his name into the draft right after the season, I think it would have just kind of looked weird because his numbers were so low. But once he entered his name into the portal, boosted the stock a little bit of the player, made the decision to put his name in the draft. I think they had that already planned from the get-go. Um, they got away with some things because toward the end of the year he had some breakaway ducks or whatever the case, chase down blocks. People started, hyping it. They used it. I'm glad for the kid. I'm excited for to see LeBron actually be able to have this support that he's been supporting his son come, this dream come true, the possibility of it coming true. And there's still a chance he doesn't get drafted, I guess, but now one thing I was curious about is this whole entering into the draft but maintaining college eligibility down. I did not know that was something that could be done. I'm not sure that it is and that could be done, but I know he had said that he was entering into the draft while maintaining his college eligibility, so I'm not really sure what that was about, but I think I'm going to do some research on that and just kind of see what that's all about, because that's strange. But I think people are starting to feel like, a team is actually going to go ahead and pick him. It's kind of hard to put him on a mock draft, given the fact that fully contingent on his performance. So I think it makes it difficult to know, hey, when is a team going to jump up and take that chance? It's kind of hard to make that guess. But I think people know that there's enough teams that are considering that. And I think that that's making him like a projected second round pick, maybe mid-second round, I'd say. But with the knowledge that somebody might actually grab him in the first round if they're really, really wanting to do it, to start understanding that if that is the reason why drafting Bronny James, that is why and then you could possibly see some teams in the middle of the first round try to grab Bronny just to try to lure LeBron into coming to their organization. They might even offer some trades to the LA to get LeBron as well after drafting Bronny. Just totally reconstruct their team for the hopes to maybe make one championship run. lesser talented team, that they would still try to constrain to make one more run at the title. And we'll just have to sit and grab a bag of popcorn and start seeing what that looks like. It should be fun to see. I want to see it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I want to see it. I want to see him play with his son. Just because of the fact that, like I said, when will we ever see anything? Probably not in my lifetime will we see anything like that ever happen again. It'll just be something to say we saw. I don't know how you guys feel about that. So anyway, to March Madness, we'll go real quick. That was the discussion about Bronny and everything. We got Purdue and Connecticut tonight, I believe, and I didn't really put any money down or anything like that because it's just hard to make March Madness picks. But I just saw them in the preseason, and Zach Edey looked tough to grab, tough to guard. So, and plus, they got some solid guard play, enough talent around Zach to make it complete. They just looked like a complete team that was going to be difficult to beat early on, and as well as Connecticut. Connecticut looks very difficult to beat. Those two, it's going to crop. I mean, it's hard to even call those teams like college teams with as good as they are from top to bottom. So it's going to be a great game. I'm not sure who wins it. I don't call anybody on that one because it's just too difficult to pick. Seriously, it's kind of hard to pick UConn or Purdue. Unless if you're a gambler, it's a gambler's dream. I don't even know who the favorite is on that. I think probably UConn maybe, just because they're the defending champs. But other than that, I think it'd be kind of difficult. I'm gonna go ahead and go with UConn just because I don't see them having any sort of intimidation against Purdue. With the way that they're playing, they just seem very poised, calm, skilled at every position. They got some ballers. They got some depth. They got some size. They really got some size in there. And then after that, like I said, it's time to get guys in the gym again. You guys should have already been there if you're trying to play and get where you're trying to go. There's no time to waste. I've already been in the gym doing some training, as you can check on the page and see. I'm here to help you guys try to get to that level if that's what you're trying to do. For those who believe in themselves, I know it's difficult now that there's NIL and it puts a lot more pressure on kids to get scholarships. Just being the fact that now it's like, it's a little more challenging, but hey, Division II schools are still there. Junior colleges are still there. You got prep schools are still around. You got YouTube, you got video, you got Instagram, you got social media. There's still a lot of AAU stuff you guys can do. So that's NBA training. Let's get started. Let's get registered, guys. 972-584-7898. That's the number. Let's just get started. But yeah, so stay in the gym. Let's watch this game. Let's do our homework, man. Stay studied up, and let's get better.